Hey guys, welcome back to I'm Just a Fan. It's your host Ben, and today we're going to be recapping Game 5 of the World Series and just the whole World Series in general. So let's get right into it. I just wanted to say before we start this video, if you could like this video, it would really mean a lot to me. If you even have any comments that you are thinking about while watching the video, drop them down below. And if you like my type of content or any sports content in general, feel free to subscribe. I consistently upload multiple times a week, and again, if you want to support me, that would really go a long way. So just wanted to point that out or put that out there before we start the video. So last thing I wanted to say is it is Halloween when I'm recording this. So if you hear any doorbells, that's what's going on right now. But let's actually get into the real talk. Let's actually talk some ball. So this was one interesting series. It was disappointing in a way because from a neutral standpoint, I really wanted this to go a minimum 6, just so we could at least say we had a series. If you would have told me that this series would have gone 5 games in the last week, I would have thought you were crazy. I just would have thought there's no way. I just didn't think that the amount of talent on both sides of this team or these teams would have equated to that, but that's what we got. And obviously, I mean, I made a video on it, so I don't need to go too in depth. And it looks like everyone and their mom saw the game last Friday, but the Yankees had a chance to be up in the series 1-0, and a lot of things happened. But Boone putting in Cortez was the dagger that night. It was the dagger. Now, hindsight's 2020. Obviously, again, you can decide on what happens there, but it wasn't a great move. And I feel like this series is just completely different if they take that game in Los Angeles, but they didn't. So obviously, the Dodgers have that huge moment, and all credit to the Dodgers. I just personally felt like it almost felt like the Dodgers took a little bit of the Yankees' soul that night, which was interesting because it was only game 1 of the series. But that was just such, I guess, a big moment. And I mean, again, I don't play professional baseball, so I don't know what that moment's like. But you would have thought, maybe you could have chalked it up just because it was game 1. But that's just not what we saw. Game 2, they got to Rodon with a few home runs, and the Yankees just couldn't hit. That was really all, that's really all the game was. I mean, again, I didn't watch all of that game. I was out doing stuff with some friends, but I did catch parts of the game. I saw a little bit at the beginning and I saw a little bit at the end. And it's just, from what I saw, it looked like, again, Rodon was just he let up a few home runs. But again, the Dodgers only scored 4 runs that game. If you're in New York, you got to score more. And again, it's credit to LA. I feel like the thing that LA proved to me this entire postseason is they just make the right play. They don't have bad fielding issues. They don't do what the Yankees did last night, which we'll get into. They always come up in the big moment. I mean, also another thing I think is really cool, I don't know if it's necessarily good for the game, but it's just the fact that it shows how loaded they are specifically in that bullpen. I mean, they could freaking pitch bullpen games whenever they wanted to, and they still won these series. Like, I just think that shows a lot about their depth and how they're doing as a team. And again, I have to give credit to them because I wasn't necessarily down on the Dodgers going into the postseason, but I was worried about the lack of starting pitching. But it didn't matter. It didn't matter. It didn't end up mattering. And it's just, again, a testament to what they've been building as an organization. This is something that's been, looming for the last couple of years. Yes, again, they won in 2020, but it was a different year. But no one can take this away from them. This is their first real legitimate championship. Again, not saying they didn't win in 2020, but this is, a 182 game season. You played all the postseason. There's nothing you can take away from the Dodgers. Game 3, again, lifeless. That's why I didn't really make a ton of these recap videos, because at least coming off game 3, I was like, this series is cooked. Like, seeing the Yankees lose that in game 3 was just brutal. I mean, I just feel like every big moment, they just didn't come through. And again, LA did their thing. I mean, credit to Freddie Freeman. This guy, he stole the soul of that entire city. I don't know why they continue to pitch to him. He was just killing them every single night. So they steal the Yankees' hearts in game 3, and at that point the series is over. The math shows it's over after that. You get to game 4. Again, Freddie comes out hot with another 2-run shot to right field. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this is deja vu. I was at the gym watching that same place as I was the day before. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm getting like deja vu right now. It's almost like I experienced this yesterday, which I did. But it was just so weird that I was like, oh my God, I'm on the treadmill right now. And I'm seeing Freeman go take a 2-run shot to. Sorry about that. My iPhone's storage, it got a little full. I was saying, it was almost just like deja vu-esque. I was like, wow. I was literally here, same time, same spot, same thing, and I'm seeing the same result. It was insane to me. But the Yankees did end up fighting back in that game. You got the Volpe grand slam, which was huge. You got a decent outing out of Gill, and here's the thing: is the Dodgers still fought back. But again, what I was saying earlier, this team has the luxury to freaking throw games and still win a series comfortably. I mean, they won it in 5. I was a little shocked that they punted after only being down 6-4, but obviously it ended up working out. And I got to say, again, credits to Dave Roberts. I mean, he managed very well over this playoff run. I mean, again, tough situation to be in with only 3 starting pitchers healthy, and to have this good of a bullpen, figuring out, okay, when do we want to go here, like who's the guy to pitch here, who's the guy to pitch there. But they put in Honeywell in game 4, and it was pretty much batting practice. I mean, he just got absolutely rocked. But at the moment, I was like, oh, did they open up the door for the Yankees? Did they open up the door? I don't know. We'll have to see. It's game 5. It's the last game in New York. Do the Yankees have a pulse? We'll see. Heading into last night, I was excited for the game, blah, blah, blah. The way that game started, seeing Judge with the 2-run shot in the first inning off Flaherty, and seeing the New York crowd like that. Again, I'm a younger fan. I didn't watch games at old Yankee Stadium. I've seen videos, I've seen clips. It looked like a very rowdy environment for baseball. It seems very similar to Citizens Bank Park, but it seems almost more rowdy in a way. And I've always been wondering, like, man, like the Yankee crowd is a little bit more corporate now. It's not as, as crazy. I've been nonstop watching that Judge home run back today. It's one of the best reactions I've seen for baseball in the last couple of years. I mean, you could really tell that that fan base started to believe. And I was like, oh my God, the monkey is off the back. Judge again, here we go, 2-run shot. I mean, this might be the thing that wakes him up next at bat. Chisholm, he goes and crushes it. I'm like, oh my God, what a start. Eventually, I forget how they scored the other run, but they did score another run, and then Stanton puts it up. And at this point, it's 5-0. Me and I think every single other person watching this game is like, wow, we're going back to LA. We're going back, but like as a baseball fan, I'm rooting for the series to be competitive. I wanted this to go minimum 6, like I said. I was like, okay, we're going to get a game 6. And this is where stuff really starts to, get very interesting for the series. But man, that's just not what happened. That 5th inning for the Yankees was some of the worst baseball I've ever seen in my life. Thank God I'm not a Yankees fan. I don't think I could cope going and seeing my team lose like that at home, like that. I don't think I could. They still ended up fighting back. Stan got that sac fly. But again, it was just all the errors. I mean, the Judge missing it. Volpe not making a correct throw. Not sure what happened with Cole not being there at first base. It was just terrible. But at the same time, if you've been following the sport, you would know that the Yankees are one of the worst teams in baseball, if not the worst, with errors and running the bases. So it's almost like this stuff bit them in the ass at the worst time. And you do wonder, how the hell does a team get to the World Series with, stuff like that? But at the same time, it is what it is. I mean, there's not really, again, much you could do about it at that point. And again, the bullpen I forget who they pitched, but he loaded the bases. And at that point, you just knew, oh God, like I could not imagine being a Yankees fan watching that shit. It was like the slow death. It was like a knife just getting pulled out of your body slowly. And again, it was just, oof, that was tough. But again, and that was pretty much the game. The Yankees, again, they couldn't come up and find that big hit late. But again, I got to give credit to the Dodgers. Again, just making huge plays every single time they had to make a play, making the Yankees pay for their mistakes. And they also didn't make I really don't remember many mistakes that they made in this series. And I got to say, shout out to that bullpen, and shout out to two guys. Shout out to Trident. Oh my God, this guy laid it on the line last night. I can't remember if he had two. I think it was a runner of first and third in a huge situation to keep that lead, and he shut him out. I mean, he threw, I think, 42 pitches yesterday. Like, he was ready. He was freaking ready, and his sweeper is just so electric. Like, I don't know how you hit that, and that was just phenomenal baseball to watch. And then I gotta say, shout out to Walker Buehler. I mean, again, he didn't necessarily have the greatest year, and I know he hasn't been fantastic, but he showed up big in this series. He did his thing in Game 3, and he did his thing last night. Yes, I know it was only coming in for one inning, but still, to shut him out, to be the guy that throws that final out, that's got to feel huge. And again, it's just credit to the Dodgers. I have a feeling I might end up hating this team in a couple years just because they're in the NL. I'm a Philadelphia Phillies fan. I feel like we're going to meet with them depending on how the Phillies do. But this team is here to stay. I mean, yeah, you got some older guys, but you also have some young guys. You have a lot of talent there. They always have a good farm system too. It's just a good team. It's just a really, really good team, well-constructed team. And again, I have to give credit to the Dodgers. I mean, it was phenomenal baseball to watch. And again, my brain keeps going back to, you were down, was it 2-1? Yeah, you're down 2-1 in San Diego, and you come all the way back, take that game back to LA in Game 5 and win that. You shut them out from after the Grand Slam. You just shut them out. Or was it the Grand Slam? I can't remember. After the Padres scored all those runs in Game 3, it was done. They were shut out after that. You go into Queens, you take care of business. You shut down the hottest team in baseball, arguably. And then you shut down, yes, the Yankees were playing weird baseball with all the weird hitting and stuff, but still, you shut them down in their home stadium with a hostile crowd. There's nothing else more to say, but just to give credit to the Dodgers. So again, I just wanted to give credit to them. It was a great season. I'm going to make a little video dedicated to this season, just kind of, my favorite storylines. It's arguably, I would say, other than 2022, just because 2022, I mean, it's a great year for me as a baseball fan. I mean, I got to see the Phillies go to the World Series for the first time since I was a little kid. Really the first time I remembered it. But I think this overall, this arguably, I mean, I wouldn't say it's necessarily my favorite season. I don't know. I've already been such a big baseball fan, but I became even more of a fan. And I'm just going to miss seeing baseball on my TV. I got so accustomed to watching it every couple days from the end of March till last night. And again, thankfully, it's not too long of a wait. And, we got NFL, college football, NBA, hockey, all that. A little bit of soccer if you're into that as well. But I'm just gonna miss seeing some seam being played, and I just love the sport so much. I mean, nothing compares to the postseason in baseball. It is one of a kind. It's cinema. It's nothing really else I could say after that. I mean, again, I'll break more of that down tomorrow, but just the playoffs, like, it was some of the best baseball I've watched in a while, and just great memories. And yeah, I can't wait for next year. Hopefully my Phillies actually do something next year instead of fucking dick tease me all year just to shit themselves against a division rival. But, what can you do? Regardless, that's all I got for today. Thank you guys so much. And I wanted to say again, because it's just it's not my last MLB video, but again, the last playoff video. You guys showed so much love for the predictions videos, for my Phillies recaps. I mean, that's the most consistent views I've ever gotten on this channel. So I just wanted to say thank you guys so much. Like, that really means a lot to me. I put a lot of time into doing this stuff. Again, I know I don't do a ton of editing, but I still put a lot of time into just making these videos and still putting them up, blah, 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 blah. And just seeing that support really, really meant a lot to me. So I can't wait to keep building this community, and I appreciate all of those who have been watching to this point. So again, thank you so much, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace, guys.